The one thing you become really conscious of if you're working in public relations is that everything comes down to attention to detail. It's the tiny little detail that will trip you up every time. I did a trip to Nigeria a couple of years back, and I had cross-checked all of the information in advance and knew everything that I needed to do. I knew where I was staying, I knew what I was speaking about, I knew how many people were attending the conference. Colleagues had said to me in advance, if you're travelling to Nigeria, be very careful, it's not always safe, so make sure you know who's meeting you at the airport. Don't get into a car if you don't know who the driver is, just be cautious. We had a colleague travelling with us who had been appointed by the college that I was travelling for. The colleague met us, we went through the details with him, and I said to him, by the way, do you know who's meeting us at the airport? And he said, yes, I'm all over that, no problem. I didn't check the detail. When we arrived in Nigeria, I got a text from a friend who had been in Nigeria before, and he said, remember now kiddo, keep your wits about you, know who you're meeting, check the photograph, get into the right car. We came through all of the check-through areas, and I said to my colleague, we'll stand here, there's myself and another woman travelling with me, we'll stand here and wait for you to find the driver. And he said, yeah, I can't see anybody. And I said, well, what does he look like? And he said, I don't know, I've no idea what he looks like. And I said, well, who exactly is meeting us at the airport? And he said, I don't really know, they're sending somebody. It's amazing, the one piece of detail I hadn't checked, and I must confess, for the rest of the trip I didn't trust that man to look after anything for me. We came out, we couldn't find anybody inside the airport, so we came outside the airport, and I'm now thinking we're standing here with neon lights on our heads saying two women, no idea who's picking them up at an airport in Abuja. Eventually, this man came over, I spoke to him, said hello, he took my case and he started walking off with the case. My colleague who was with me came flying along behind and said, are you sure this is the right man? And I said, I'm absolutely certain, and what's more, he knows who the boss is. He's dragging my case and you're dragging your own case. This works for me. And then the man who was meant to be looking after us came along behind and said, are you sure this is the right person? And I said, yes, I'm certain. And he said, how are you certain? And I said, I'm certain because he was carrying a big sign that said Ellen Gunning, Irish Academy of Public Relations. He was definitely looking for me. I was really surprised that the one detail, or one of the few details that this man was responsible for, he hadn't looked into. And in fact, he hadn't even noticed the sign that the driver was holding to call us. Detail, it's the tiny niggle every time that will pick you up. Not the big stuff, you'll remember that. But you should wake up in the middle of the night and wonder, have all the small details been taken care of? It's an important part of public relations.